Are you an educator who's burned out? Maybe you work in a system that's cutting positions. Maybe you poured your all out for years and years for a district that is just not compensating that same type of energy in return. If that sounds like you, this video is for you. I'm Ian, and this is my wife Paris. We're going to just have a conversation about some things that I know are going to touch your heart.
Yes, so one of the things that I wanted to ask you about specifically, Ian, I know when you graduated and you got your bachelor's degree, you decided like, okay, I guess I'll keep going. Everybody said, keep going, don't stop. How has that master's degree changed your life for the better?
I'll say the short answer, which is, I haven't used my master's degree. In fact, what I did was I told my school district, hey, I have my master's degree, and they said, okay, great. We'll pay you $500 a year. That's like $48 a paycheck. That's like nothing today. And the craziest part about that is I got my master's in 2018. And here it is now, 2026. I just left teaching for good. And that stipend never changed. But the price of onions have gone up. My HOA has gone up. Gas has definitely gone up.
Insurance has gone up.
Woo-hoo!
Everything.
Everything has gone up but my compensation. Now, granted, I might have gotten a 3%, salary increase, but what is that when the price of onions is tripled? I don't know why. I like onions, so I always compare it to the price of onions.
He loves onions.
Did that kind of answer your question, or are you looking for something a little more in depth?
It did. No, it did. And it kind of takes me into my next question, because I'm not an educator, but my husband is. And I guess one thing that I've seen a lot was educators that are classroom teachers, but they're like Dr. Brown and Dr. this and Dr. that. What do you think the purpose is in them getting their doctorate if they're like not really seeing that big of a difference in their paycheck, but at the same time, they actually do need extra money?
We do a lot of things just because we've been told that it's the right thing to do. Mm-hmm. That doesn't necessarily mean that it's the right thing to do. I heard this saying once and it really hit home for me. It's not what you don't know that hurts you the most. It's what you know and think is true, but it's not. That's what really hurts you.
Yeah.
So when somebody goes to college or school in general, we've been taught through the education system that school, that's the way to success. That's going to make you successful. When you think about the most successful people you know, I'm not saying they didn't go to school. I'm talking about the most successful people. I'm not saying they didn't go to school, but was it school that gave them that level of success? Or was it something else? Was it something that was within them? Was it something that they maybe had to learn outside of the classroom or the academic field? I say that to say this. Somebody that is a classroom teacher and they maybe have the title doctor, such and such, as you said it. They may be in love with the subject that they teach and want to be an expert on that. I mean, I respect that. That's the thing. Or they may think that, hey, if I get this, I have another level of success. But really, a lot of times what we have are trappings of things that look like success, but they're really not.
Yeah.
If I paid $100,000, $25,000 to get that degree, and now I have that type of debt, do I have the degree or does the degree have me?
Ooh, that's normally what I'm wondering in that situation, because I see people go back to school, they spend $60K for their master's program, they spend another $60K plus for their doctorate program. They're scrambling, trying to make sure they get all of these dissertations and all of these papers in last minute, and they come out of it literally not only with a very similar salary to what they had previously, but also now with student loan debt that they can't even afford because they didn't start making an extra $100,000 or $10,000 after they got that degree. I mean, it's not like they it's not like the doctorate degree gave them the lifestyle that they were looking for. So I was always curious about that. One thing, Ian, I heard you alluding to is that, education is education. Mm-hmm. You don't have to get education from a college or from anything like that. There's certain things that are within us. I heard you say that too. Certain things that are within us that we probably need to expand on. Can you talk a little more about that?
Yeah, for sure. I read a book, and I'm going to continue to promote this book. This is one of my tops. It's called Weapons of Mass Instruction. Weapons of Mass Instruction. In that book, it was written by a teacher that retired the year he won New York State Teacher of the Year. And he talks about how most of the actual lessons that cause success in life are learned beyond the four walls of the classroom. I would say that most of us have been taught, a better word that I use with is indoctrinated, to believe that if we want a level of success, if someone we love wants a level of success, they need to go through this system. Well, I submit to you that we need to make our own systems. Whatever area of our life that we don't create our own systems, we'll be subject to someone else's. And someone else's system is usually not in our favor as our own systems would be. And that's the same for success, for money, for any of these things, health and wealth, whatever, relationships. We want to make sure that we're creating our own systems of learning, our own systems of success, our own systems in order that we can strive and hit the levels that we know are right for us, not what somebody else says has to be right for us.
Here's something I found very interesting, Ian. And you have talked about this before. Did you say that you had not read a full book until after you were done with your master's program? Is that what I heard you say?
I finished the book when I had like a couple months left with my master's. Yeah, I hadn't read a single book that was like over 100 pages with no pictures, like ever. And I'm talking, it wasn't like I had, whatever. One reason was, I didn't think I could. I didn't think I could focus. And I honestly, to do all right in school, well enough to make it through college, and also basically my grad school program was, I didn't have to. But what I found was that there's so much information hidden in books. Not just books, but the right books. Mm-hmm. And when I examined the books that I was told to read throughout my educational time, yes, they can help me maybe increase my comprehension, but did they necessarily increase my capacity to think and think towards the things that were going to help me get in touch with my passions and with, having the type of value in society that I know I'm capable of?
Right. It's so interesting because, just going back on that, you went and got your master's degree, you got your $500 raise, and now, what is it, 7 years later, 8 years later, from getting your master's, and you don't even work that job anymore.
I forget I had the master's degree. I was so dumb, you guys. When I got my master's degree and they said, hey, you can get a loan, I got the max loans, all of them. All of them things, man, because I never think I would have to pay it back. I didn't understand money. I didn't understand anything. I knew that, if I get a master's degree, I'll be able to but be more successful, whatever that means. But what it led to for me personally, and maybe this isn't your story, it led to more debt. I did, discover that I have a love of writing. I appreciate that. But was $50,000, $60,000 in student loan debt worth it to find that I had that passion?
I didn't realize it was 50 or 60,000. That's literally 10,000 more than. Anyway, 10,000, 10 times more.
I could have, taken a writing class over the weekend. They give out writing seminars for free. You know what I mean? But I was just ignorant. I actually fell into getting my master's degree. I needed to take 4 classes in order to get my teaching certificate. I was already working on my master's degree, so they're like, oh, you might as well just keep on going. I'm like, oh yeah, And little did I know, I don't know if I should be saying this as well, but after I'm retired from formal education, I've realized, I don't even like school. my students would ask me, well, how are you a school teacher if you don't like school? Well, I enjoy teaching, but the act of going to school, sitting there, having to raise my hand and do all these things, I love learning. But learning within that system, that framework, that just wasn't my style of education, if that makes sense.
That's the one thing we're really big on. We're really big on education, but education on our own terms. We love education about specific topics that can actually 10x our lives and not 10x our debt. Like that degree that 10x our debt. And it's so crazy because like literally we paid what, $6,000 on something that was going to help us to become business owners in the space that we're currently in. And let me ask you this, because you're the one with the $50,000-$60,000 master's degree debt. Which one had the bigger impact on you? The $5,000-$6,000 from the entrepreneur course program, or the $50,000-$60,000 from that master's degree?
I would say the lesser cost one definitely has had a bigger impact on me. But I won't just bash the whole degree thing. I'll say my story is my story. If I didn't do one thing, would I have done the other?
Right.
I don't know, and I'll never know. But I can say paying for something that taught me the ropes and showed me further how to be an entrepreneur and how to create the type of business that I'm operating now, that was invaluable. I was taught by people that were steps ahead of me in something that I was already doing.
Millionaires in the spaces that we dwell in.
And they were doing it. I love my college professors, but most of them hadn't taught in the classroom in years. And yet, hey, these are the experts. These are the people that are going to teach me how to be successful at something that they haven't done in a very, very, very long time. So I would say, evaluate those things as you're going through it. Are you learning something based upon theory, or is this practice? Is this practical things that the person that is teaching you has practiced or is practicing?
Another thing I'll say that I don't think people do enough. A lot of times we decide, you know what? Let me go back and get my master's in this because of this. And they come up with this reason because they're like, oh yeah, I'll get a pay bump. I'll be able to do this. I'll be able to transition into that. Before you start that program, before you sign up, before you put your application in, here's what I would love for you to do. Go find someone that actually has those positions that you're thinking about getting into and interview them. Interview 3 people of each position. See what their life is like. See if they're like fighting to get out. See if they're like excited about what they're doing. See if their current situation matches up with what you want your future to look like. If it doesn't, then you might be going down the wrong path and barking up the wrong tree. You might want to scale it back a little bit and think about what you actually want the fruit of your life to look like. And that's something that we don't think about because we're just like, yeah, just keep striving, keep building, keep going. But sometimes we do it almost like an autopilot because that's just what you're supposed to do, right?
Yeah, that's why video games are so popular, because they provide a platform for someone to level up on. But if you're constantly leveling up on something that doesn't even really matter to you, are you really leveling up? One thing that I would tell my students or ask them all the time is, and I think I need to start saying this more, when in life we're always asked, what do you want to be? What do you want to be? What do you want to be? But you're not a what, you're a who. I would start to ask them, not what do you want to be, what type of lifestyle do you want? Who do you want to help? How do you want to help them? And then start building your life around those things. Because if we build our life around a what, we're going to be turning ourselves into a brick that's going to be a part of a building that we don't even live in.
That's good. Another thing that you used to ask your students that I really, really like, you used to ask them, how do you want to live? And like, is there like, what do you want to do with your money? When you start earning, what do you want to do with your money? And they would be like, I want to be able to take care of my mom and do this and do that. But the career paths they were choosing were like $70K.
You're not taking care of your mom off no 70K. I made 70K. My mom gotta have her own bills paid. I ain't helping.
Seriously.
I'm trying to cover my bills.
We barely were scratching through.
120K? How many families you taking care of off that in 2026? One. If that.
Just one.
Shoot.
So you're not going to be able to do too much. You might be able to take on a vacation once a year.
Yeah.
Something like that within the United States. Nice little cruise on a discount. But you're not going to be able to do too much, unfortunately. But that's something that we don't think about, because all we think about what the next level is. If you're currently making 70K, it would be nice to make 90K. Oh, if I'm currently making 90K, I can't wait to be over 6 figures. But guess what happens? The lifestyle creep happens. You're going to end up making that extra money, but you're not even taking into account that you have to still pay that degree back that you used to get the extra 10K, if you even get the extra 10K. And then on top of that, you're going to start needing to align your lifestyle with your paycheck. I mean, come on now. You're making 6 figures now. What you doing riding in that little Camry? And you just said this, so I was watching your video, and I remember you're like, you need the Benz now.
You're the boss. You can't be riding the roller, bro. You need the Mercedes. True story. I remember. I remember. I'll say my first 6-figure year. I'm like, oh, I made a bunch of money this year. I looked at my taxes. I'm like, oh, okay, cool. Yeah, that's what's up. Then I look at the expenses. Oh, okay. That says 1-0. That's a little bit bigger. So, is it really about the amount of money that you're making? What about how much money you can keep? What about not even how much money you have? What's your cash flow? Not even what is your cash flow. Where is that cash coming from? Is that cash coming from you having to go to work every day? Or is that cash coming from something that you built that you can continue to get paid from? Those may not be things that you've thought about before, but those may be things that you might want to start thinking about.
Yeah.
Because it took me a long time to, really start thinking about those things. I traded a lot of time for money. And I'm not talking about just working my job. I'm talking about doing other things, driving Uber. I'm talking about tutoring other people's kids beyond regular school hours. I'm talking about a lot of different things that I did where I thought I was independent. I thought I was trying to get ahead. But they were just making me become further and further behind because of that lifestyle creep that you talked about.
Mm-hmm. So look, we're going to end this here because we could go on for hours. But here's what we'd like to know. With your degree program, getting your master's, getting your doctorate, whichever it is that you got beyond the bachelor's degree, how did it affect your life? Do you currently have the lifestyle that you want right now? Or are you still looking for the next thing? Now, if you are still looking for the next thing, maybe we can have a genuine conversation about that. We actually assist educators with figuring out what their passions are beyond the classroom and helping them into turning that into a profitable business or program.
For sure. We definitely enjoyed this conversation.
Yes.
I hope you get a lot of value of it as well. Be sure to be sure to drop a comment and subscribe to our channel so we can make more content like this, so we know that, hey, you're out there watching and we're out there just creating value in your life, pouring into you. So thank you for stopping by. We'll catch you on the next one.
Bye.